When I was 9 years old, I was introduced to the world of public speaking. I was gotten into a competition where I had to speak about a pencil for 3 minutes. The script was describing the process of the pencil becoming a pencil, and essentially started from the plant that was grown and that grew into a big tree, and then the tree that was cut down and taken to the factory and built into this little pencil, and then shipped off to stores all over the place to be crafted into a pencil that we could buy. I became very good at this. And at the end of the competition, I was able to win all the way to the nationals, where I was presenting in front of a room full of over 1,000 people. I had arrived in that moment. And one of the things I realized was that I really enjoyed this process. I enjoyed being in front of people and helping describe and explain certain elements of things that they may or may not understand. This has become my life's work. My name is Nelson Masinde. I'm originally from Nairobi, Kenya. Currently, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I live here with my beautiful wife, Tuwanda Masinde, and our 3 beautiful children, Deborah, Christopher, and Lillian. They're 8, 6, and 3, so it makes for a very busy life. Growing up, I grew up in a large family. We had 7 of us as kids, and we always had cousins and other people living with us at any given point. My dad was very big on allowing us and giving us opportunities to communicate. I personally enjoyed sitting around with him, talking about current affairs, talking about things that were going on in the news, things that were happening worldwide, reading the newspaper and analyzing some of the concepts and the things that were going on politically. He also insisted that we had to read the scriptures every night, and one of us had to take an opportunity to explain what the scriptures meant. Needless to say, he ingrained in us communication skills. My mother, on the other hand, was always very free and open, always encouraged free communication. And that allowed us to also learn how to express ourselves, that you don't hold things in, you always communicate and express yourself, even if it's not completely refined. Just say it, and then we can help refine it along the way. That's a little bit about my background growing up, which leads up to who I am now. I've grown up learning how to speak right or speak correctly. I'm introducing to you a system that allows you to speak well, but at the same time, be able to write well. SpeakWrite is a product of my life's work. I personally believe that we can help eradicate people's fear of communication. What I'd like you to do as I communicate this is to think about how this can be beneficial to you. And also visualize yourself or any of your friends, colleagues, or anybody else you know that may need it and whose life may be enhanced and impacted by this system. At the end, I'm sure you'll see the value. I'm sure you'll see the benefit of being able to grab a hold of a program and a process that allows you to enhance your communication skills very effectively. I enjoy this, and I have a passion for it. So much so that in the past, I actually taught classes on communication. I've actually spent the last 8 years or so working as a consultant, helping people with their communication skills, people in different industries and different fields. It is something I really love to do. Today, I'm going to be sharing 3 areas on this subject. I'm going to be talking about the art of speaking. There's a difference between talking and speaking. I'm going to be talking about the art of writing, which is another one of my biggest passions. It is important to be able to write well so you can speak well. And then at the end, I'm going to be talking about combining those two. How do you bring speaking and writing together to make a dynamite combination that will produce the effect that you're looking for? As we start off on speaking, I want to explain the difference between speaking and talking. Talking is a natural skill. We're born with it. You grow up talking, and whether you talk one language or a different language, or talk well or not talk so well, we all have the ability to talk unless there's some disability that we have. The difference is that speaking is when you can actually take the words that you're saying and have them make an impact on the person that's listening. Difference between talking and speaking is that when you're speaking well and communicating effectively, the other person is able to understand your message. One of the things I learned from one of my mentors in this communication world was that your message is not clear and it's not accurate until the listener has understood it. So for years, I went through processes trying to figure out, how do I get my listeners to understand my message? It helped that I became a high school teacher. When you teach high school and teach young people, you have to learn how to take big concepts and break them down into concepts they can understand. The questions they ask a lot of times will push you deeper to figure out how to communicate things that you thought were just easy to understand. One of the things that you end up understanding is that your communication has to be varied. It has to be on so many different levels so that you can help every single person that you're communicating with understand what you're saying. Now, in most situations, you'll have people that are in a wide array of life situations, old, young, different age groups, different mindsets, different cultural backgrounds, and you'll have to communicate in one place and get all of them to understand your message. But in most situations, we find ourselves communicating one-to-one or communicating to a large group of people or a small group of people that are all within the same type of demographic. And then it's a little easier to be able to communicate our message effectively. The distinction between speaking and talking is important because that helps us understand that when we're talking, we're just talking, and we could talk to anybody about anything. But when we're speaking, we always have the listener in mind. If your message is not reaching the right ears, then your message is being wasted. So you have to think about who am I talking to? And every time you begin to speak, the first thing is, who is the audience? Once you consider the audience, the rest comes easy, because as you're processing everything you're going to say, the audience is always top of mind. The next thing is how. How do I communicate this effectively? For example, when you're speaking to a group of adults, then you may want to have more toned down, a more respectful, a more calm demeanor, as opposed to if I'm going to communicate to young people, maybe in their early 20s, or maybe teenagers who need a little bit more animation and they need a little more excitement. Second thing with the how, you have to understand that older people might be able to take a little bit more information and sit for 20, 30, 40 minutes at a time, where younger kids probably can only take about 5 to 10 minutes. Yet, how do you take the same message and compact it to fit that younger demographic, and at the same time expand it to be able to fit an older demographic? That's the art of SpeakWriting. And as you talk through SpeakWriting, you understand that it allows you to do all those things dynamically, effectively, and very efficiently. My second point is on writing. A lot of speakers that I know don't take too much time considering the writing element of this. Now, you don't have to be a good writer to be a great speaker. In fact, a lot of great speakers are not very good writers, and a lot of great writers are not very good speakers. Understanding the art of writing well will make you a better speaker, because it's in the writing that you find your words, it's in the writing that you get your thoughts together, and it's the writing that you can compact your message. I remember when I was a high school teacher, and one of the things that I enjoyed doing was speaking off the cuff, because I didn't like reading speeches. I didn't like standing up and looking like I'd memorized a speech and going through the process. And one day I got up and started speaking off the cuff, like I usually did. And I ended up going completely off topic. And by the time I realized where I was, I had to backtrack. I had to try to erase what I just said. And I had to make sure that I can restart the whole message without losing track of where I was going. And to this day, we still laugh about it. That I forgot what I was saying, I forgot where I was going, and I forgot exactly what my direction and path was. Now, it may have just been one of those days that we all as speakers have, but if I had spent some time writing my thoughts down on that day, particularly, it could have saved me that embarrassment. Now, I was in front of a group of students who don't usually forget things. So to this day, they remember, that day I forgot what I was talking about. Writing helps you eliminate some of those concepts and some of those failures and flops. You can laugh about situations, you can laugh about things where you failed, but if you start writing well, it'll help you be more concise, get straight to the point, and move along a lot quicker. One of the things you want to first write is what? What do I want to say? Remember, you've already considered the audience. What do I want to tell them? And when you start talking about what you want to tell them, think about the most important thing you want them to walk away with. Do you want them to walk away with the fact that SpeakWriting is the most important skill in your life? Or do you want them to walk away with the fact that this is something that they need to consider, think about, visualize, imagine? Or do you want them to walk away saying, I have to have this? Now, either one of those three is wrong. It's just a matter of what do you want to get them walking away with? And you write that down and you say, this is the end goal. And if we can get to this end goal, then we'll have been successful. The third thing you want to cover with writing is what's the key takeaway. When somebody walks away from this, what is the one thing they're going to remember? Hopefully, as I speak to you today, as you finish listening to me, you're going to remember SpeakWriting, that you need to speak well so that you can get your message across. I'd also like you to remember that writing well allows you to speak better. One of the things that you have to craft in your writing is the essential fact that people need to know exactly what you want them to walk away with. The key takeaway, very important. The third point I'm going to share is SpeakWriting. I came up with this system over the years because I was working with a lot of different people on their communication skills, helping them communicate more effectively, communicate more clearly, and helping them enhance their overall message. So a couple of years ago, I sat down and thought, what if we had an app? What if you had an app that you could just plug and play, open up the system and put in the things that you want to put in, and voila, it produces your speech. And I looked around and I couldn't find anything like it. I found a few things here and there that you could put together and combine. And so I thought, this is probably the idea. I want to create an app. I want to create an app where you can plug your information in and then it produces your speech. Because a lot of people struggle with the art of speaking, mainly because they don't know what to say. And if you can help them put their thoughts down, then have a system that can actually put all that information together and produce what they need, then they can be more effective. One of the stats that really mind-boggled me was that majority of people would rather die than speak in public. Seriously. Public speaking is the number one fear. Fear of death is number two. And that's something that's not good. And so to help change and shift that mindset, SpeakWrite is one of the systems that can help you do that. Now remember, writing well helps you speak better. We want to teach you how to write well so you can speak better. So the solution here is coming up with this app that will help give you a peace of mind. Everybody nowadays has a smartphone. download an app, plug it into your smartphone, put in your thoughts based on what you want to speak on, and then it gives you the structure that you need for your speech. Now, this is scalable. It goes from a graduation speech to a toast, to some speech at a wedding, or to a keynote speech that you're giving for a certain length of time. It gives you a peace of mind. It gives you a sense of clarity and be able to relax and know that I got it covered. And at the end of the day, it also allows you to communicate your message correctly. We want you to write well so you can speak better. So today we've covered the difference between speaking and talking. We've covered the art of writing well so you can speak better. And then we've also talked about SpeakWrite, the system and the app. I firmly believe that with this system, we can help a lot of people get beyond the fear of public speaking. What I want you to do today is start off by taking the course. I've created an online course that walks you through some of the concepts that I've covered here. What you'll find is that you'll be able to know easily what mistakes you're making and the things that you can do to recover. The course also gives you templates. The templates allow you to plug information into the system so that you can easily come up with a speech for any occasion whatsoever. And the course also gives you examples for everything, from a recorded speech all the way to a keynote speech. From the age of 9 to now, I've spent a lot of time crafting concepts, crafting ideas, and creating all kinds of things that I want to promote to different people out there. Fast forward to today, I'm now able to craft systems and put things together that allow me to write well so I can speak better. It didn't take me a whole lot of time anymore to be able to craft a speech and to create something that's engaging. Only thing that takes me a lot of time is doing the research in order to have the right information. We have a lot of people out there that struggle with the art of speaking, public speaking in particular. My goal is to help them. And how am I going to help them? Teach them how to write well so they can speak better. And coming up soon is going to be the app that you can plug and play. But before we get to the app, take the course, SpeakWrite. SpeakWrite will help you communicate a lot better. Thank you.